Guten Morgen, Guten Tag. What's up, everybody? We are doing this. We are going live. We are pushing back. We are speaking out. Because the issue in America today. What is up, everybody? Good afternoon to all. We are pushing back. We are speaking out. We got Blackout the System Phase 2 coming up in just a couple weeks here. We are ready to make a change, to push back, because we're so sick of the rigged system. Because what's going on is that for decades and decades and decades, they took the power away from us little by little until now we ain't got nothing left. So the only way for us to push back is for us to come together. It used to be that pushing back was like America's pastime, saying, screw you, boss. You only have all of those houses. You only have that business because we're the ones working for you. Yeah, we could talk about decades, centuries, but right now, what's been affecting us is the last 40 or 50 years of what is going on. So we will do it with love, but we got to come together first. We have got to start pushing back. We have got to realize that, the only problem in America is the greed from the people up top. It really is, because everything else is just a symptom of that. We are seeing it of what's happened over the last 50, 60 years where we haven't been able to come together to push back. Well, the reason we haven't been able to come together is because they divide us so much. They literally have lied to divide for decades and decades and decades. And it's finally catching up to them, because you can only tell somebody for so long, or you can only, lies won't feed a man, right? Lies won't house someone. So you can lie to them as much as you want, but as soon as you get rid of the resources that they need to live, as soon as you make it so that we can barely survive, well, we're going to start coming together big time. And that's what everybody is feeling right now, because we've all felt this pain. We've all felt this frustration. We've all felt this anger, because it shouldn't be this way. It should not have to be this way. We all live our lives for someone else. Every single one of us, we wake up every day and we make other people money. Then those other people that we go to work for, who we are making money for, they make sure that we don't have enough. Not because there's not enough to go around, but because if we don't have enough for security, they can control us. That's all this really is. It's about taking over all of the power so they can control us. Think about it. In the past, it used to be that these millionaires and billionaires, that's who we're talking about. We're not talking about your rich uncle. We're not talking about your rich buddy. We are talking with someone who has hundreds of millions or billions of dollars and still doesn't pay their employees enough to live. Because when somebody is making that much money, not only is it the right thing to do to pay your employees, because you literally would not be in the situation that you are in without having your employees. What it really is that if we had a free market, y'all, if we had, yes, Minifiba, I have my 30 employees are all at work right now. I'm able to sit here with you not only on a Saturday, but every day during the week because my employees go to work and get the job done. And guess what, Amphipoda? When I wanted to go open my second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth location, I can't be in all those places at once, can I? You have to rely on other people if you want to continue growing and making money. But here's the thing, what you're going to say is, oh, well, if you don't make enough money, why don't they just go and get another job? Well, you can't go and get another job when they're all owned by the same prick at the top. And that's exactly what we are in now. All of the companies, almost all of them on the S&P 500 have the same three top shareholders. So Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street own over or are the top shareholders in over 85% of S&P of companies on the S&P 500. See, that's the problem, Amphipoda. You are not looking deeper into the situation because it shouldn't be market value. That's what the billionaires tell you to pay less. So here's the thing. I make really good money at my business. If I paid my employees market value, they'd be making 15, 16, maybe $20 an hour for the good ones. But I pay them 40, 45, $50 an hour. Because if they weren't making that much money, guess what, Amphipoda? They would have to go on public assistance. They would have to go on Medicaid and get food from the public good. So your taxes would be higher. And that's all that's happening across America is all these employers are saying, oh, market value, $15 is great. $17, that's market value. Well, that person, what they're actually bringing to the company is $70, $80, $90 an hour in value. But because they own all the media and they own all the movies, music, and television, they tell lies to trick people like you so that you're pushing against your own interests. Because everything you've said on this live today, you are literally advocating for yourself to pay higher taxes. And it is hilarious because you think you're right, but we are all here looking at you going, hey, this person just really doesn't understand what is going on because all they hear is the propaganda from the billionaire companies saying, oh, that Walmart greeter doesn't deserve to have enough money for food. The government is owned by the billionaires, you fool. Who do you think the government works for? Do you think that they work for us? Because I think everybody in America realizes that the government doesn't work for us. So that's the number one thing. That's the number two thing. We all go, oh, well, it's the politicians' fault. And every time we do that, the billionaires laugh at us because they own the politicians. This is like you getting mad at your boss. It's like the owner of the company comes in and says all this crappy stuff. And the owner of the company's like, no more breaks. The owner of the company's like, you got to do all this. And then you're mad at the manager who's just like, dude, I'm just following the rules. That's what my boss said too. And that's the problem. Himothy, I actually do, because this isn't even opinion. This is fact. What's happened over the last 40 or 50 years is that the American worker has gotten more productive. How did we get more productive? We use frickin' technology, man, mainly the internet. So we made a lot more money. No, I'm not going to have somebody that doesn't believe in the truth up here. This isn't a fucking debate, y'all. This is me coming in saying, hey, here's the problem in America. Here's what's happened over the last 40 or 50 years. And either you have your blinders on and you go, no, that's not the truth. I was told that I was special. That's why I'm so good, because I'm special. Or you go, oh, yeah, that is what society is about, that we all are a product of our society, that really it depends on your zip code more than anything on whether you will be successful in this country. That's what it's about. And that's what fools like you don't understand. Yes, I am very well off, but that's why I'm the one that has to bring this message. Because if I wouldn't, you would just say, oh, he's just jealous about his job. Oh, he's just unhappy. Oh, go make more money. And that's where we are showing you that you can be wealthy, you can be rich, you can have employees, and you can still treat those employees like human beings. So I will be muting you here in just a second because you're not having a conversation in good faith. We are not against rich people at all. In fact, I freaking love capitalism. I think the free market is an amazing thing. But I think that you are a fool to think that if we actually are a capitalistic society, because we are not. Because the hallmark of a capitalistic society is a free market. And we can't be in a free market when over 85% of corporations on the S&P 500 have the same three top shareholders. That's what it's all about. So we are all realizing this at the same time, because our wages have been frozen. The prices keep going up, and the same people that are raising our prices and freezing our wages are the ones buying up all the housing. Not that wrong R word. It's a revitalization, because the words that we use matter. Because if you say like that, the majority of people, well, first off, you could just hit the point there. So it's not about being poor because someone else is rich. You don't understand. What this is about is getting rich off the backs of others. That's it. If you are a billionaire, you shouldn't have any employees that are on public assistance. But I can tell you right now that there are 10 million Americans in this country that work full time for billionaires that are also on public assistance. So John is literally paying more in taxes so that the billionaires can pocket more in profit. But because John didn't get a good enough education, because those billionaires paid the politicians to gut the education system, John can't see that everything that he is regurgitating all comes from media and music and movies and information that is owned by the billionaires. So he's going to say four different things. He's going to say, you should just find another job. He's going to say the employees are lazy. He's going to say you never got a job from a poor person, or he's going to say the rich deserve it. I know I just mute the one and then the other one comes on in. It's almost like they don't want us to hear this. So it's so funny to see. And then what people do is, because we understand what the actual problem is, other people come in and they try to derail, distract, and divide us. That's all this is about. Derail, distract, divide. That's all that John is talking about here. That's all John's trying to do. Derail, distract, divide. And that's where, if we all come together and get on the same page, that is how we actually win. Because they obscure the truth on purpose, y'all. We didn't get this divided on accident. That's it. It doesn't mean they have more than you. So what you need to figure out is, if somebody has more than you, but any one of the people that helped them gain more is also struggling, then that person is immoral. So that's all it is, John. How do you not see that? Somebody can be as rich as they want, but usually, in order to get super rich, not usually, always, you are using other people to get rich. So think of somebody like Bill Gates. What did Bill Gates actually do? He didn't invent the underlying technology of the computer. He didn't even invent software. He created one piece of specific software that made it easier for the majority of people to use, and we over reward that one person. What really should happen is all that money that Bill Gates has, it should be get doled out through all the people that helped create computers, through all the people that helped create software. So we over reward people even though they are only a product of their society. So just like somebody else. So when that 20-year-old is saying, when somebody goes, go get another job, well, you just need to go get more skills. Well, just think about this, Cosmic Cat, you could not be more wrong. Because right there, what you just said, that's another lie from the billionaires. That's you all applying your feelings to a situation that isn't factual. So it is just so funny when if somebody could actually bring me, if somebody has an opposing viewpoint that actually has facts behind it and not just say, oh, it started with this, oh, it started with that. So and then the same thing. So say somebody is 18, 19, 20 years old and they don't have a good skills for the job market. Heck, they are looking all around their town and they can't find a job. So what do we say? We say you need to go get the skills or you need to move somewhere that can. But that person is a product of their society that we helped develop. So when somebody is born, they don't decide what zip code they're born in. And zip code is the biggest determinant of whether you are successful in America or not. That's what's so funny to everybody that doesn't understand this. Why is zip code the biggest determinant of whether you're successful in America? Why is it that Americans under 40 are the first generation in American history to be worse off than their parents? You can go look it up, Andy. It's so number one, I am a small business owner. I have 31 employees. Communism would be having the government own the means of production. What I think that we need, Andy, you blinded fool, is more competition. Because if you look at our society right now, well, the hallmark of a capitalistic society would be a free market. How in the F can we have a free market when 85% of the corporations on the S&P 500 have the same three top shareholders? There are no more mom and pop shops or local stores that can compete with the businesses or with the corporations. There's a reason that you're not allowed to start a business in your home, or they make it so difficult to start a business in your home in America. Because if so many of us, if they lowered the barriers to starting a business, so many of us would come. We'd start pushing back. Andy, you are a fool, because just because a business is in business doesn't mean they are actually competing. You have to be large enough to compete. So if I am not competing with the other giant corporations in my industry, then I am lucky to be scraping by. And what it is when the same owner owns every single megacorps can't make cheap shit. What they did was they decided to get rid of American jobs and so that they could make more money. And this is so funny that you say this, because it's literally the billionaires deciding to get richer at the expense of Americans. So they could say, all right, I can open a factory here and I'd have to pay everyone $60,000 a year. That's good for America, or to have more jobs. Or I could open it up in Mexico and pay $10,000 a year. So do you think that they're actually thinking about what's best for Americans, best for us, and best for that? No, they're just thinking about their bottom line. So it's so funny that you say the market decided they wanted cheap shit. No, the mega corporations decided that they didn't care about the American economy. So what they did was they offshored all of their manufacturing to different areas of the world and left us to deal with it, essentially. And then you are sitting here, and then what they did is, rather than us getting mad at them, did you not see how so let's go over it all, is they bought all the media companies. No, it doesn't start with the people. The people are the products of their society. Yes, we have to come together, but the reason we are so divided is because they own all the media companies. They control the narrative. Let's go over it. Musk bought Twitter. Larry Ellison just bought TikTok. Bezos bought Waypo. Ellison's son, CBS and Paramount. CNN went ahead and was purchased by a private equity. So this is all about greedy corporations and them understanding that if they overwork and underpay all of us, that none of us will have security. And if we don't have security, we're going to be one step away from financial ruin. Yes, that's what this is all about. We need to lower our reliance on the corporations. So it is insane to me that you would say it's a good business move when, if you see what happened over the last 50 years, the American economy has. So that's why you see stocks going higher and higher and higher, and the American economy not actually doing anything for the people. Because the billionaires said, yeah, but where does that local small business get its stuff from? Huh? Where does that local small business get its stuff from? They buy from Megacore XYZ. So, John, same with me, because I don't think that you use your brain very well. And it's very easy to see that if one person is underpaid, and even if it's their boss throwing a couple extra dollars in their pocket, then that person has to go on Medicaid, which you pay for. I mean, the easiest thing are the Walmart employees. So Walmart makes billions of dollars per year, billions of dollars, but they have their employees who are on Medicaid. So your taxes are higher because the Walmart owners shift the burden, shift the financial costs from their bottom line to the American taxpayers. And then what they do is they control the media and the narrative, so people like John don't understand that it's not the individual's fault, but it's the owner's fault who does it on purpose. Because that's what this is all about. Like I was saying earlier, I've got employees that are at $40 or $50 an hour. If I wanted to pay market rate, they'd be at $15 or $20 an hour. So what I could do is, for those 10 employees that are at that rate, I could make $30 an hour more and put it in my pocket. But then none of them would have enough money for health care. So they would go on Medicaid and you all would pay for it. Or I could lower their prices and they wouldn't be able to afford housing. So they'd have to go on public housing and you all would pay for it. And this is the system that John is defending. It's so funny to me that people who have, actually, we know why it happens, right? So let's talk about the two reasons why people continue to defend this rigged system. Number one, it's almost always the men, because it's pride. It's our pride. That's what it really is. It's our pride. Because if you've been stepped on your whole life and you believe that if you just keep working harder, that your break will be right around the corner, and then somebody comes around and says, hey, you're wrong. That path you've been following your whole life is incorrect. Well, yeah, that's why John gets upset. That's all. It's his pride. He's afraid. And then the second thing is, say John is really successful. Well, I'm here telling him that, hey, some of your success is due to the advantages that you have that others don't have. That's all. So, yeah, if Trump continues his socialist policies, I would love that, because Trump is buying private companies with your tax dollars. And nobody is saying, hey, where is it? That's exactly all it is, Michigander. I mean, that's where I got to remember that myself. They're not actually arguing against the facts. They're just arguing with their feelings, because it's so funny to see. It's their pride that gets in the way, because if everybody could just say, yeah, I was sold a bag of lies. They had me following this. Yeah, literally the problem are billionaires, and there's like 8 billionaires in his cabinet. So, well, it's the opposite of a victim, right? It's almost so proud that they can't. So, the proof is our society. The proof is over the last 50 years. I don't even know what you're talking about. The proof that he bought Intel, that is right there. Because essentially what's happened is, if anybody else can't see it, I will go through it one more time. Yeah, and we love you too, Jem. Trump is a symptom of all this. I don't give a crap about Trump because it's all humans that are like this. Yeah, because it's all human nature. That's what this is. It's all human nature. It's greed. It's saying, I got mine, screw yours. It's 50, 60 years of people saying that, oh, life is about making money. Life is about stepping on others. And it's people that just do not understand that we are all a product of our society. And what ends up happening is that when somebody is born, they don't choose which parents they are born to. They don't choose which zip code they are born in. Y'all, don't argue about Trump. It doesn't really matter. They are here to derail, distract, and divide. No matter if it's Trump in office, or you think if Kamala had won that we'd all have money in our pockets right now? No. You think if Kamala had won that we'd be building houses for Americans right now? No. But we're not having that under Trump either. Prices are up. The economy is horrific. And yeah, absolutely. Both parties are two sides of the same coin. And that coin is in a billionaire's pocket. And Have Spaceship, that's exactly what it is. They throw us a bone because they're not as mean, but it's just good cop, bad cop, y'all. That's it. And the sooner we realize that anytime we fight over left or right, whether we say that, oh, Trump's the problem, not at all. Misinformation, I am loving your take on things, because that's exactly how I feel. We have to understand that literally them taking all the money is the only problem. Because think about it. Like, no matter who's been in charge, shit ain't gotten better. That the billionaires and the people up top only care about preserving their money, about preserving their power. And so let's stop playing into their freaking hands by pointing fingers left or right, because no matter what you believe, one gem, I guarantee that if you and I were up top and in charge, that we'd be able to figure this out, because we actually want to figure it out. The people up top continue making money off of these perpetual problems. Chris Collins, I don't even know what you're saying, because billionaire is a very defined aspect. That's somebody who has a 1 with, I think, 8 zeros at the end of it. And the only way you can get to that is by relying on other people to help make you money. And if you don't pay those other people who helped make you money a living wage, then you are a hoarder, because it's by definition, you are taking more than what you need, while other people who work for you don't have enough. You are able to buy your third house, while the people who literally help make you that money can't buy their first. And that's why they're hoarders, not because of the amount of money that they have, because of the way that they treat the people who helped make them that money. Because think about it. Think about it. What does an owner bring to the table? I know this because I am a fucking business owner. What does an owner bring to the table? Money and a little bit of structure. That's about it. Money and structure. And when in the olden days, even 40, 50 years ago, there we go. Thanks, misinformation. Even 40, 50 years ago, where were we going to get all that money from? Well, we wouldn't, right? We couldn't. We had to rely on that rich person, right? But nowadays, we don't need them for that money, right? We can find that money in other ways. We can all pool our assets together, figure it out. So what the owner brings to the table, we can replace. So now let's talk about what we bring to the table, huh? Because when that owner wants to go grow and expand beyond what only they can do, when people are able to live up to their fullest potential, then they will always thrive at what they do. Hyperlocalization, what we call ourselves are localists. This is what this movement is about, localism. I don't know what you're talking about. The system does not provide security right now because security would be the ability to keep your food, housing, and shelter in case of an emergency. Right now, over 80% of Americans, 208 million people, don't have even $5,000 saved in the bank account. So if over 80% of Americans don't even have $5,000 in the bank account, how in the world can you say that people have security? Because that's the problem, because we don't even have freedom in this country right now, because freedom would be the freedom to choose. Freedom would be the freedom to say no. And the only way you can have freedom to choose is if you have money to choose the different options. So if you don't have frickin' money in this country, you don't have freedom. But that's what it is all about, providing security for the majority of people. That's all this is. Cosmic Cat, what do you think is the point of a society? Right? That's all that I like to ask people. What is the point of a society? Why did we come out of the woods and start living together? Is it so that all of us could go work, so that 90% of us could go work for the 1% that owns everything? And then we are barely scraping by with our food, housing, and healthcare. Is that the point of all this? Is that why we are living? No. We are literally living our lives because of other people and for other people. Every single person relies on others. Well, that's where I wouldn't even say that they're viewpoints. I don't even try to give an opinion when I talk here. Honestly, I try to say, well, over the last 40 and 50 years, the wealth gap in America is really easy to see. Why did that wealth gap happen? It's because of technology, and it's because of a loss of John Williams. You could not be more right. I hope you're the real John Williams. And a loss of competition. That loss of competition led to the corporations getting more and more power, more and more control. They now control the media. They control the political process. And that's about it. And then they keep us there with lies saying that, oh, the billionaires are the most important people in society. Oh, poor people are just lazy. And I just have literally gone through all that. I do this every day, and I say the same thing every day because all I'm saying is truth. And I have thousands of people that wake up. We have over 80,000 stickers out across the country now because everybody feels this. These stickers are completely free because we're pissed off and we just want you to speak out. That's all that we want. Speak out. Because this is what it's really all about, blacking out the system. Because we need to learn that greed is the problem in America. Well, what fuels the greed, y'all? How are they even able to make more money? Because we go to work for them. What's up, Defiant? I never saw an email from you. I'm sorry. I checked as soon as I got off yesterday. So greed is the problem. So how do we stop what fuels their greed? Us, our hard work. Bezos can't deliver all those before themselves. So how do we stop fueling their greed? We stop going to work, right? We push back. But we can't stop going to work long enough because they will beat us because they've got all the systems, they've got all of it. So what we need to do is build a community of people who are ready to push back long term, who are ready to say, all right, I will recognize that greed is the problem. I will reorganize my life choices around that ideal, and I will recruit others because I know this will take step by step. It won't be over by Christmas, but I also know this is what we have to.